У нас будет доклад от Бенджамина Юриса из компании Picaboum. Он расскажет о тех новых плюшках, которые предлагается добавить в базовый геймплей казуальных игр. Поприветствуем нашего докладчика. Let's start.
Test. Okay. So thank you everyone for being here, and hi everybody. I'm really pleased to be here in Kyiv and to share this lecture with you about a topic which I'm sure every game designer in the world has once in his job asked this question: how can I diversify my gameplay? Before I answer this question, or at least try to answer this question, I will present myself. I've been producing and game designing video games for 15 years in France, working for Infogrames Atari on Nintendo games mainly, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, and now working for Picaboum on casual games on Facebook and mobile. And social games, more than classic business game, are asking you to relieve new challenge, because we know that social games lies on a core gameplay that will iterate many times, and hopefully players will like it at a point that they will pay for it. So the question we have to ask every day is how I am going to diversify my core gameplay. So of course you could have a revolutionary idea, a brand new concept, but you'll admit that it's quite difficult to reinvent the wheel. For example, if you want to create a new Tetris, then go ahead, but it's quite difficult. The thing is that you have to have the good idea at the right moment, meaning that whether your game is a collectible card game or tower defense or anything, you have to think what is going to be different in my game, what is going to be a little plus for the player, for the experience. And of course you need a bit of luck, because sometimes you have the idea to throw birds at pigs and it works, if you see what I mean. So basically, how are you going to improve or to diversify your core gameplay? Sometimes you can try to hide in your games or to place some Easter eggs or game feature that can have a viral or social dimension. That's what we are going to see in a few examples. Because of course we cannot answer this question globally. Each game of course is different. And so you have to have your own reflection on your game to find what is going to be a little different, and that will make the player come back to the game ever and ever. I also want to say that Easter eggs or hidden game features can have a social dimension. For example, on YouTube you can find videos of players playing some games with little things hidden in the game that renew the game interest. And so when somebody has played a game and he discovered that there is something hidden in the game, maybe he will want to come back to this game and find what's been hidden. So let's start with this game called Les Monsters, developed by Picaboum, and in part with our Chernigov team, which I think is, I see them at the end of the room. The Monster is a collectible card game. So basically the core gameplay is about collecting all the cards, all the family, to complete your collection. It's very classic. So how are you going to do so that people come back every day and play your game and try to find new interest every day? So maybe one first answer to try to diversify this gameplay was that the game was not about collecting pictures, but collecting pieces of the picture, like in a puzzle. As you can see here, you collect parts of a main picture that you will complete, and you have 1 week to complete. For that, you have mini games, a quiz, a wheel of fortune, and a visual games, for which you will come, hopefully every day, and try to win some more pieces. At the end of the day, you have lots of pieces that you can try to reassemble to recreate a bigger picture. And this game was quite successful, as it established Picaboum reputation for 2.5 years now. Also, one of our very recent game is Lollysop, which is a match-3 game. Of course, when we talk about match-3 game, we all think about Candy Crush by King. And so I had to ask myself the question, what will be different in Lollysop to try to have something a bit fresh, a bit new in a game like that, where as everybody has already played and tried to match 3 things to make them disappear. So we thought a lot with my colleagues, because I'm not alone in Picaboum to think about gameplays. And we had this idea to make some level rotate. From time to time, the level will rotate. And it can be very interesting if you have to, for example, make some little animals go down from the top of the grid to the down. If the level rotates, it changes the gameplay. It's something that is renewing interest. I mean, when you have played dozens and dozens and dozens of classic levels, when you encounter a level like this, at least you say, hey, that's something new, that's something fresh, I can try it. We also tried to change the shape of levels here, when you can see that some lines are shifting in the gameplay. It can be lines, columns, rows, and so as you play, the shape of the level is changing. So you have to adapt your strategy according to if you need to make more points or make all obstacles disappear in the level. And also, on the same philosophy, we added some obstacle moves after moves. You can have some obstacle popping into the level. For example, here, when you have a basic 9 by 9 grid, and after a few moves, you can see some soap popping up in the cells. And so it completely changed your way of thinking, of trying to match animals and create new bubbles. So of course, it's not revolutionary having a level that rotates, having some rows shifting or popping some obstacles. It's not something quite revolutionary. But if you can, on the, let's say, 100 levels, dispatch them at the good time, at the good moment in the evolution of the player, maybe you can attract his attention. Maybe you can retain him for playing, because every 2, 3, or 4 levels, he will have a surprise, in fact, in the game. And so maybe he will come back. And if he comes back, he can invite more friends, he can pay for the game, and you can expect maybe success. Now, about tower defense gameplay, a game that I like very much. It's Kingdom Rush Frontiers from Ironite Studios, which is a Latin America studio. Of course, you all know what is a tower defense. You have a pass, you have some enemy units following the pass, and you must kill, destroy, remove those units before they reach the goals. And what is very interesting in Kingdom Rush Frontiers is that they put all along the map of their levels lots of mini games or little Easter eggs to make so that every level has a different little thing that makes you want to discover next level and see what there will be hidden. For example, in this example, you see that you have some what I call alien Easter eggs here. You have some alien, face huggers that goes along the path and catch your soldiers. And then, as you all can imagine, there will be an alien coming out from them. It's a very tough unit to destroy. So, somewhere in the background of the level, you have a little temple, and you see a little guy, very similar to Indiana Jones, because there's a lot of little hidden things in Kingdom Rush Frontiers. And you see there is 3 little stones here. If you press them in the correct order, you will have a big rock coming through, and it will destroy all the alien eggs. And with that, you got rid of all the alien eggs for the whole level. So it is very helpful. Of course, I'm not going to tell you what is the sequence to make the big rock appear, because it will spoil you the pleasure. So if you play Kingdom Rush and you see that temple, you know what to do now. Another example in Kingdom Rush Frontier 2, you have this character appearing from time to time, which is a kind of cannibal chief, cannibal boss, and it captures a princess. So you can completely don't care about him and let him throw the princess into the volcano. But if you decide to create some units specially to kill this cannibal boss, you will be rewarded with some money, and money is very important in those tower defense game, as you can build some new defenses or upgrade your existing defenses. But also you will be rewarded with an achievement, and this achievement you can't have it from another way instead of killing this cannibal boss. And by the way, you have a little reward, as the princess seems to be in love with you, which is nice. In Kingdom Rush Frontiers, you have many other ideas. I couldn't put them all because it would take too long, but you will have in every level something hidden in the levels, or a game mechanic which is different, and that makes people want to play, wants to come back every day, wants to try and finish a level, to see next level, to see what's hidden in next level. And I think it's the most important part in a game, what there is in the next level, so that people come back, they play, they invite people, they pay. So, of course, you all know the Monopoly, the classic board games, of course. You all know the rules, which is about ruining your adversary by earning lots of money, making them pay when they stay at your hotels. But party of Monopoly can last very long, and it's not really suited for example, a Facebook game or a mobile game when you have only 5 to 10 or 15 maximum minutes to play. So what did Electronic Arts? They decided to change the rules and make it like a rush, a speed game, with the first to $1 million or anything wins. And it changed the rules because your objective is not more to ruin your adversary, it's to make money. So you also have something interesting, is that your pieces, you know, the little things that you put along on the board when rolling the dice, that will change with progress and make you some more money. So it's interesting to see that something as classical, as well-known as the Monopoly, can be upgraded, can be refreshed in a social or mobile games. It's very important because it tells us that in anything we can have a little idea, not to make a revolution, but to renew the interest. So now it's your turn to work. I guess, I'm sure you have plenty of games to design. And if you have some question, or if you want to let's brainstorm together, we maybe can find some new ideas and find some new successful gameplays. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Benjamin. У нас есть несколько минут для вопросов. Пожалуйста, поднимайте руки. Benjamin, maybe I can try to ask something. How do you think, is it possible to make a really successful game with some really classic core of casual game, but with very small differences, with very small, I don't know, maybe animations, graphics, not so huge as revolutionary, but really simple games. Is it possible to make success?
Well, I think so. If we have all known Angry Birds, for example. Angry Birds is what? A physics game. And we can say that physics games pre-existed before Angry Birds, clearly. So what is different, for example, in Angry Birds gameplay? Nearly nothing. It's a classic physics games. So maybe the revolutionary idea can be in graphics, can be in sounds. For example, you know the pigs in the Angry Birds that make like this. It's funny. Everybody recognizes it. And you have also the birds, the looks of the birds, which is very nice. So maybe the little plus is not only in gameplay to be successful, it can be in sound or in design, in art.
Yeah, thanks. Sure.
First of all, thank you for cheats in Kingdom Rush.
Thank you.
To be serious, how do you think, how often should features appear? Each 3 minutes, each 2 levels, each level, or what's your mind?
That's a good question, because of course, if you have only a few ideas, and if you put them only at the beginning of your game, and let's say you have 100 levels, and in 20 levels you have all your ideas that are gone, what are you going to do in the 80 last levels? So maybe I think it's, for Lollysop, for example, we decided to begin with 100 levels. So I put my board with my pencils, and we draw a map with 100 levels. And we decided, when are we going to give the player a surprise? And we try to dispatch it regularly, not everything at the beginning, not everything at the end, not everything in the middle, but we decided to put a boss level in Lollysop every 5 levels. So at the beginning, people are playing, then they reach the first boss, then 5 levels later they have the second boss with a surprise, then 5 levels later they have a third boss with a surprise, and then your player gets used to it. He got the rhythm, and he knows that in a few levels, in 5 levels, he will have another surprise. So I think that according to your game, you have to dispatch it on the whole experience. And it's also very important that even non-paying players can benefit from it. Because we know that only 1 to 3% people are paying a game. But that means that 87 other players are not paying. But they are helpful because these people can invite a lot of other people that will maybe pay. So you give to give the full experience to all the players.
Спасибо. Еще вопросы?
Вы говорите о том, что возвращаться к каким-то старым идеям, возможно, их как-то оживлять. Но раньше, вот, допустим, я хардкорный достаточно игрок, кроме того, что делаю игры. И мне очень нравились разные игры, типа там героев третьих или РПГшек сложных. Сейчас от этого в социале уходят, и насколько имеет смысл пытаться в социал вернуть вот этот вот сложный хардкодный геймплей, который... Не понял. Меня попросили повторить вопрос. Вы говорите возвращаться к каким-то известным старым механикам, как, допустим, там настольные игры и тому подобное. Я как хардкорный игрок люблю РПГшки разные, там и пошаговые стратегии, на математике шахмат, там шашек основанные, там третий герой, допустим, боевка от этого пошла и тому подобное. Насколько имеет смысл в социал перетаскивать этот геймплей и как-то это оказуаливать или не оказуаливать, или в таком же виде? То есть, чтобы там было много математики, много какого-то сложного такого геймплея, насколько это людям будет нравиться, если попытаться, допустим, впихнуть одну игровую сессию в тех вот 15 минут, о которых вы говорили. Спасибо.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Picaboum is specialized in casual gaming. So that means our target is not about mathematical gameplays or RPGs, etc. But that being said, you have to catch the interest of your audience in the very first 5 minutes. Otherwise, they will leave and they will never come back. So you tell me, why are you going to casual with those kind of old gameplays? I think old doesn't mean bad. I mean that tower defense exists for a long time, and I always have pleasure to discover new and innovative tower defense. Maybe I will have pleasure in 1 or 2 years playing another old school gameplays that have been refreshed with an idea or two. So, of course, there is a difference between audience. You cannot expect hardcore players to react as casual players, of course. But I mean, what was the aim of my lecture is it is always possible to find a little plus. It is always possible to renew something and try to catch the attention of your players. I don't know if it answers your question, but that's how I understand the question.
Any questions? Вопросы? Спасибо. Thank you, Benjamin.
Thank you, and I'd like to welcome you tonight to the Picaboum Bubble Contest from 20 p.m. to midnight. So be sure to be here with us. There will be lots of beer and goodies to win.
Yeah, thanks.